Good morning, good evening, welcome back to High Top Sports Game Day. It is Army-Navy week, also Heisman weekend. It is the first weekend before playoff weekend. So there's a lot of buzz in the air, a lot of excitement. Typically, we've got some time before we get into this world. We're getting into the playoff world. So we're going to talk about, of course, Army and Navy and why Army's quarterback got snubbed out of the Heisman. Ty will give you his thoughts all about that. And then we're going to preview Notre Dame and Indiana because that game's on Friday and next week, and we'll have our show on Saturday, so the game will have already happened. And then Ty will give you his thoughts and breakdowns on the Heisman. Cowboy Ty, good morning. Good to see you. How you doing, baby?
Yeah, buddy. The Army Navy. I was hoping this game would be more, but hey, it's cool. It's still, I love it. It's great. Thanks to all the guys out there that were in the Army and Navy and all the forces, man. Greatly thank you. And this game's for you guys, along with the Army and Navy. It's always fun to watch.
Absolutely. Shout out to the guys serving this country and allowing us two dorks to be able to do this. So shout out to all of them. Yeah, this game at one point during the year had a sex appeal to it, to where like it could be an impact on the playoffs because of how both teams were cruising down the line. That's what this game was ramping up to be. Notre Dame kind of shut that down for us pretty quickly. And the Navy dropped a few after that as well. But this game is always a great one. With even as good as Army has looked, Navy's looked really well. Only a 6-point spread. We'll talk about the spread here in a little bit. Again, you were hoping Army's QB would get an invite to the Heisman. This has been, it's been a 4-man race for the last like 5 weeks. So Bo Scatabo tried to throw his name in there the last minute from last week, which I loved. I was hoping to. He sold me. I was like, yeah, you deserve it. Maybe you deserve a nod. I'm down with it. No nod was given.
Yeah, I thought he was deserved. Actually, of the one people that I do think deserved a chance to go to New York and to be part of it, I definitely thought Cam Scatabo was the dude that deserved it, and I really thought he was going to get the invite after the game he had in the Big 12 championship. And on top of that, you sit back and you look, and Nick Saban's like, this guy's my favorite player. I love this guy so much. And then I thought that was going to be enough to get him there, and he didn't get a chance. And I hate that for him, but great season to him, especially where he came from. He came from a Division II school, went to transfer 2 years ago. So good for him, and he's going to get a chance in the league. And it's probably all you can ask for at this point from where he came from. So good for him.
They're in the playoffs. Don't sleep on them just yet. But look,
right, it ain't over. You're right.
We talk so much about the portal and not negative things about the portal, but we have our frustrations about the portal. And I lost you there, Ty. That's one of the Bo Scatabo story is one of those situations where, like, look, that's a good one, right? That's one that you get excited about and you love hearing. And again, there's so many of those, but unfortunately, the bad ones is the one that kind of takes over. But yeah, coming in from a D2 and then being able to do what he's been able to do at Arizona State and essentially lead that team. I think that team is got some weaknesses with the quarterback. I think they get exposed come here in the playoffs. But they'll do everything they can with Bo. They're very similar to Boise with a heavy running game, but they got the ability to pop off when need to. I think the quarterback's efficient enough. I just think he's gonna, if he gets a little rattled, they're gonna be in some trouble.
Yeah. No Jordan Tyson over there is a big loss for that team. That's his go-to guy. It's pretty much his only go-to guy. He throws it, and him having a broken collarbone really sucks.
Steven says, "What's up, so homies?" And Clint's go, "You guys still fighting for your life?" I've been sick, and they're just giving me no love here, no appreciation for just the effort that I put in for these guys. Let's talk about Army Navy real quick though before we get into the other topics of conversation. Again, it's a 6-point spread. Hopefully, we get a nice, good old-fashioned snow game. I haven't checked the weather there yet. If we're going to, the uniforms are impeccable as they always are. I mean, this is what we get fired up for. These are one of those games that I think it's the 125th matchup, I believe, between both of these teams. It's one of those games. Again, you kind of at this point of the year, you're football exhausted, but this one always just kind of fires you up, and it's always a great one. It's like your typical rivalry game, regardless of what's happening. Last couple of years the two teams haven't been as sexy, but this year they were two teams that were fun to watch, and again had an opportunity. What are your thoughts though going into this game?
Yeah, first of all, the hell with Notre Dame for ruining this game for me. I really wanted this to be a better one, but this this game comes down to both the quarterbacks and the way these offenses are ran. Bryson Daly, who I've been big on forever, because of the way he runs that Army offense is amazing. And then on the other side, I personally think that Blake Horvath's a better passer of the two, but like we know how these guys run, and they run through the quarterback, and the quarterback makes all of the things work because he has to make the read, or if he wants to give it to the running back, then he has to make the read if he wants to keep it, then he has to make a read if he wants to pitch it. So when these two teams play, you have to it relies on the quarterback. He has to be the smartest guy on the field. And when you have Army and Navy, you don't get like big time recruits. You have guys that fight hard. So you got to kind of hide your guys, and that's how they hide it. They hide it with the two quarterbacks, and they're fun to watch. And like if you have a chance and you want to sit down and watch them, they are fun. They are fun guys, and like they play tough, and I love watching them both, to be honest.
Yeah, look, the game never disappoints. It's always an always instant classic. It feels like when you watch these games, and I feel like this game is shaping up to be just like that. When you take a look at the spread here, again, the show's brought to you by BetUS. It's -6.5. You could feel like it could be a little bit higher just with the Army, given what they've been able to do this year. But Navy hasn't really shied away, so I think the spread's perfect. What I like is the total here. I think 40. I like over a lot. I really think it could be like a 31-25, 22-21 football game in favor of Army. So that one, I mean, usually I stay away from the total, but for some reason, I feel good about it. Now, this will be the one that it's like a 13-10 football game, and I'm not even close. I already can sense it. But be sure to check out BetUS.com. Use the code YouTube150. Get back 150% on your first deposit, then 125 on your next two, up to $2,000. Again, we're rocking with BetUS all season long, even into the playoffs. So if you don't take advantage of this game, next week is going to be an absolute doozy and should be a blast to bet on. I mean, it's going to be something we've never experienced in college football, seeing these teams play at their opposing stadiums. It's going to be electric. It's going to be electric. So be sure to get in on the action if you can. Ty, what do you like the total there, or am I crazy with the over?
I mean, I don't hate it because I think both these offenses are better than what are advertised. So I don't really hate it because they can. I've watched both of those guys like go. I mean, in an instant, go the house. So like both of these teams going at each other. I do think the over. I actually do like over 40. I know it's going to be a fast paced game because they don't throw the ball a lot. So the clock continues to move on these teams all the time. But I mean, I think that both these quarterbacks can bust a couple, and I think we could see up. I could see overtime today. Like I really could, and who knows once you get there in the overtime session. But I hope it's a snow game because it's great. And those Navy uniforms that they came up with this year is awesome. They're fun to look at. I think they did a great job with them, and they do every year. But man, these ones to me, they just said it with the skull and the flag. Oh, it was great. I loved every part of it.
They rarely miss. Michael Lowe says Army Navy, the last classic college football game, no transfer portal, no NIL. It definitely is a snapshot of kind of the classic just grind of football, right? Just two teams going at it, just literally fighting for the logo, like the perfect definition of fighting for the brand and nothing more, nothing less. Just I want to go out, and that's why the game's always so close, regardless of what team comes in. It's just like I don't care about what you've done all season long. I'm going to murder you because the bragging rights from this game is just insurmountable. And then Justin says Army Navy is always tough for me because it means the end of football season, and it's true. That usually kind of what it really does close it, but it feels different because literally next week we have a full slate of football. Like it's like a second
something
championship week. What's that?
Yeah, it's something we've never seen.
For me, it's almost like it's like a little just of a teaser now because yes, usually it is kind of the end, and then you get into the bowl games, and those are kind of they kind of flutter through, and then you have your playoffs late into December. But now we're rocking and rolling. So
now, as a fan of teams that did not make it, you're going to get a taste of what it feels like to watch it, and then you're going to want to be there next year. So kind of get people fired up, and it should be interesting. We're going to talk about it, but there are some things they need to adjust, and I think they will at the end of the season. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but yeah, it's going to be still fun. Everyone's complaining that this and that, and it's the first year, guys, so nothing's perfect. Like let them do their thing. Like nothing's perfect.
My buddy of mine, he's a Clemson guy, and look at the jersey that he got. I didn't even think about That's the first round playoff patch. I know it's a little. There it is.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's great. Yeah, and that's another good thing. Like, I mean, there's just so much more involved in it. I'm so glad we got to this. But
That
like I
to
said,
me
they
was
need
cool.
yeah, sweet. That's awesome. I
He
love it.
missed Jackson Arnold just signed with Auburn, by the way, former quarterback from Oklahoma. So breaking news there. He just he missed our fantasy football playoffs. So he sent me that. And I go, at least one of your teams made the playoffs. But then I go, that is pretty dope, though. I can't even hate. Like that's pretty sick. Like, I'm not usually one to kind of like be all weird. I have like merch and stuff, but like the first one, like there's just, I love kind of like embroideries like that. Like that's the stuff that kind of gets me fired up because it's a moment in time that you can possess, right? It's not just a jersey. It's got a little more history. Yeah.
And only 12 teams have them.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's pretty cool. I can only imagine what it's gonna be like at these stadiums. Like I don't think we're talking about it enough. And so let's get into that. Let's talk about the first round. Let's just kind of we'll segue into that perfectly after we move on from Army and Navy. Let me go ahead and get this pulled up here. Yeah, so obviously the first game was on Friday, which we won't be able to talk about it because it'll be over with. Is Notre Dame, Indiana at Notre Dame. And again, I mean, maybe we're talking about it enough and I haven't seen it. I just feel like that is the coolest part of all of it. But there's just, it's so much sensory overload, right? We got the first time with 12 teams. You've got teams that probably we're like, should they be in it? Should they have a bye? Like, there's just so many things that we're overlooking. Like, they're also playing at home. First time ever this has happened in college football, which we already know playing in the college stadium is electric. Now you add this atmosphere of a playoff. Like, that's just, I think next year, once we have a taste of it, it'll be more of like the home field advantage will carry much more weight. I think right now this year people were like, it was just we just want to be in. Like, nobody was kind of really caring about the seedings. And we were talking before the show because, again, no disrespect to these teams, but it's going to be disrespectful. The side where SMU, Boise State, and Penn State, like, it just doesn't feel right. Like, it doesn't, like, the fact that those three teams are going to be the ones that make it into one of those three are going to make it to the Final Four just because how they're lined up doesn't make sense, right? Like, Boise, and you said Boise shouldn't be the Final Four. If you just move Boise out of that, the Penn State SMU matchup, that's fine, right? It's the fact that one of those teams goes and plays Boise State. Like, it just feels very weird. And like you said, like that's going to change going into next year. And it's the first year, so you're going to have these bumps and bruises. And nobody really saw it probably unfolding this way. And it's probably a good thing that it happened this year, right? To where the SEC kind of beat itself up. The ACC had a little bit of carnage as well, which caused Boise to do what they did and take that fourth spot. I think when they created this thing, it was like, well, Boise's never going to be ranked over, a conference champion from the ACC. Here we are.
Yeah, and once again, I mean, when you sit there, like I said, it's not a perfect system yet, but it needs adjusting. And they did, like I said, I love the fact that they get in and they get the chance to represent and show that do they belong with these guys, and they have that opportunity. But I just think that they need to be put into the first round. We need to go by. They deserve the auto bid, but we need to take the rankings into consideration in this spot. And I think the top four teams in the rankings should get the buys, but these teams definitely deserve their spot. So I think if you adjust that, you make a few things here and there, and I think it's pretty good. I just think it needs a little adjusting on that. I don't think Arizona State should have a bye. I think they should be playing in the first round. And I don't think Boise should have a bye. I think they should be playing in the first round. And another thing you could possibly look into doing is if the lower seed wins, the reseeding, because Oregon is going to get screwed. So Oregon is going to play the 8 and 9 seed. And the 8 and 9 seed happen to be Ohio State and Tennessee.
The NFL does that, right?
I mean, that is, yes. Yeah. The NFL does do it that way, and it works. It's always worked. They've never changed that. So, once again, if like somehow the 12 seed win, they should go play Oregon. We should not put, a 12 seed against the 4 seed. Like, it's not college basketball. It's not that kind of situation. Football is a little different than college basketball.
And I think that's what they tried to do. That's what I was thinking about, too, because, again, you have the rankings and the seeding, and that was the weird thing for me, too, is like, why do we have two different things? And they try to take that March Madness approach where you have a seeding, but like you just said, you have 4 1 seeds. Like, it's completely different. So you have to take the rankings and dissect it because you're creating 4 separate brackets. You know what I mean? So this you're not. But yeah, I look. I didn't think about the reseeding thing because the baseball doesn't reseed. I don't believe hockey reseeds, and I don't believe basketball reseeds either. It's just football.
Just football, and I think the reason you see a reseeding is because it's one game. You don't have a 7-game series. You don't have any things like that. So there's only one opportunity to win a football game, and if you have one opportunity, like if you are the 1 seed, you deserve to play the lower seed in the situation. Like Oregon was the best team. Let's give them the easiest road. Let's not punish Oregon for being the number 1 seed. They have the toughest road. Like, let's see what it is. And let's again, these guys are learning. It's not a perfect system yet, but I look for these things to change moving forward. I think it could be an interesting concept of where they decide. I think if you go the top 4 teams and you do the reseeding after round 1, I think we have a pretty good system in place.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that part of it. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see how they shake it up. Again, I don't think too many teams there wasn't a lot of pushback because it was the first one and it was just the focus was to get in. But if Oregon falls and they kind of look around and like, hey, this was a little jacked on what we drew, you bust your ass all season Ohio State, they put them at 8 and Tennessee, I think Tennessee is respectively in the right spot. I think that was probably fine. I think Ohio was the fall. Like that game, honestly, should be Boise and Tennessee. That would make sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's fair. I feel like that's a great matchup because once again, you got Tennessee, who's they're SEC, good football team in the SEC against Boise, and Boise's only loss is to Oregon. Like that would be a good matchup. It'd be fun.
You
matchup,
put Texas where
in Boise.
Yeah, that'd been cool too.
On the blue turf, that would be awesome. And we're going to see these all these college students are all going to gather around and end the playoff, and they're going to have that atmosphere, and it's going to be bumping, man. It is going to be the stadiums are going to be nuts. It is going to think these stadiums are going to be
unmatched. Ohio State is a blast during regular Saturdays. I think it's going to be insane. It's a popularity contest when you go there. I think if you put Boise where Ohio State is, and you put Texas where put Texas in the Final Four, bump Boise, and put Ohio State against Clemson, I think it's perfect. I think I just fixed the bracket. That's all they needed to do. They should have called me.
Yeah, and they had the right concept of getting the teams that win their conferences top 4 getting in, but they didn't have the right concept of how to seed them. Because if you go back, if we were to reseed these teams how they were by the rankings, we would have Oregon 1, which is correct, Georgia 2, which is super respectable, Texas is 3, which I don't think anybody would disagree with that, and you'd have Penn State 4 after winning the Big Ten. I don't think anybody.
I would say Notre Dame 4.
Well, either way, yeah, I'm good with either one. I would not be disappointed.
Because Penn State lost.
Right. So right now, if they were to go by seeding, we would have Notre Dame against Arizona State. I think that's a fair matchup.
Yep.
We would have Ohio State against what are they? The 6th seed. Ohio State's number 6, so they play 11,
which is SMU.
SMU.
Yep.
And then you would have Tennessee playing
10.
Indiana. That's not right.
Yeah.
What am I missing? I'm missing a team. In there, or Tennessee playing Boise, one of those two. But you understand what I'm getting at. It's not a perfect system, but I think we're close, and that's what's important. They're doing it right. It's just it's got to be adjusted a little bit.
Who do you like for Notre Dame versus Indiana? Look, it's a home game for Notre Dame, but it's not too far for Indiana. It should be a good one. I did the little playoff preview bracket last night on our show. I think Notre Dame makes Final Four. I think Notre Dame makes championship game. I think Notre Dame is much better. This isn't the Notre Dame of old. We talked about it with Brian. This isn't Brian Kelly's Notre Dame, bunch of pansies. I think they've got a very sound defense. They run the ball very well. Riley Leonard is a very efficient quarterback. This is where I think Arizona State gets caught up. Georgia has some question marks now with Gunnar Stockton. You always wonder what it could be, right, with the new quarterback coming in, but they just haven't looked great. They still have not looked very, very good. And I think Notre Dame is very sharp. Indiana, the one time they had to show us, like, can they go up against the big dogs, which was beating Ohio State, they kind of folded. Now, you kind of look at all this and you're like, they kind of just, they got in. They didn't have to bother with anything. Is Kurt Singeti playing us? I don't know, because it just looked like they dominated all year long and then they just kind of folded. So we could be in for one here. We could be in for a shocker, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, when I go forward to this game, this is a tough matchup for Indiana. It's not a good matchup for them. You know, they both teams want to run the ball effectively, but the
Yeah.
problem is Notre Dame's boys up front are very, very good, and they are very physical. And people probably don't watch a lot of Notre Dame that watch this show. Jeremiah Love is the real deal. That guy runs as hard as you will see a player run. He will jump over you. He will run through you, and he wants the ball in his hands every time. Uh, I just think the boys up front for Notre Dame are more physical than the teams they're going to play. So I definitely could see them getting to that final. It's crazy to say after losing to Northern Illinois, but uh, that the team's physical. The team is playing the best Notre Dame I've ever seen football play in I can't tell you how long, maybe 20 years of how much physicality they have. It's a different ball club. They want to run. They run the ball well. They run the ball with their quarterbacks. They run the ball with Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love, and all these two guys are very, very good. And I don't know. I could definitely see it. Georgia, to me, just has not looked like Georgia. I mean, I don't know if Carson. I don't think they win the SEC championship if Carson Beck don't get hurt in that game. And that's the God's truth. If he was hurt, I just think they made an excuse. Like I'm seriously not convinced they need an excuse to take him out. They had 50 yards of offense in the first half. 50.
Pathetic.
It was 250 to 50, and it was 6-3. I mean, Texas let them win win the SEC. I mean, 250 to 50 yards, and you're only up by 3 points. You can't let teams like that hang around. You just can't do it.
I question Texas too. I really do. I was kind of a little sus for that Clemson game. I think Dabo might come and punch Sark in the mouth because Texas, the two times they've had to really kind of face anybody, haven't looked that great. And there's talent there, but I don't know. I've got a couple head scratchers there. So yeah, I think Notre Dame handles it soundly, and I think they roll through Georgia. To be perfectly honest with you, I think it's going to be a great game. And what's going to be cool is I think Notre Dame in kind of similar fashion, because we have so many teams with so many names, so many storylines going on. They've kind of just scooted by, right? They don't play. They're independent, and they fit into that category. Against Notre Dame, will be fine. They lost to Northern Illinois, but I got it. It was a bad loss, but they've dominated since then. They haven't looked back. So that they've kind of washed away that loss. And I think come Friday, I think they'll probably put some more, unless some big upsets happen, which will be the storyline. I think Notre Dame could be the big story headed into the second week of the playoffs. So it should be fun, and I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited.
They show spreads if team wins and who they play, and if Notre Dame wins, they're actually going to be favored by 3 points against Georgia moving into that game. But I'm not really ready to just wash away Indiana. I mean, if you go back and look at that Ohio State game, they could run the ball, but what they did on special teams killed them. The punter drops a punt. He gives them the ball inside the 10. They let a punt return for a touchdown. Like things that usually they did not do, they did. And special teams killed them and changed the whole momentum of that game. So I'm not ready to ride them off just yet. I think Rourke is good enough to make plays, and I think they can run the ball very well. But I'm worried about their defense on the other side. That's what I'm worried about. I don't know if they can handle those boys from Notre Dame.
For sure. I think, again, for a quarter, I think they get wore down a little bit, and it's all she wrote. Justin Cordeaux says, Justin? He thinks Penn State's, no. Stephen Kyle says, crazy, Penn State's better than Notre Dame. Think so?
I mean, they both play very similar styles. I could definitely, they both seem to play very physical. I mean, they're very similar to me because Riley Leonard and Drew Aller both kind of play the same kind of game.
Yeah, game manager guys.
The only difference is Penn State has Tyler Warren, and that dude's nuts. I don't care. That dude is insane. He's tough to guard. He's tough to guard from anywhere. That's the difference maker. Tyler Warren for Penn State. But I don't know, man. Like I'm excited to see it. There's a lot of good things happening, a lot of good storylines, and it should be interesting. The first round to me, that Tennessee Ohio State game, I'm super excited to watch.
Yeah.
I think Clemson has a chance to upset or Clemson has upset Texas. I think
Yep.
they do.
Yep.
They have the talent.
I think so
And
too.
Texas is limping. Quinn Ewers doesn't look good.
Yeah, they're talking about the chat right now. Quinn Ewers hitting the portal, going to OSU. A lot of smoke. A lot of smoke. Wild times, man. Wild times we live in. But he's not. If he doesn't go pro, he's got to. He's not. Arch isn't
he's
sitting
not
again.
ready to go pro.
Yeah, he's not. And Arch isn't going to sit again. So it's one or the other. So it makes sense.
I heard rumors to Belichick and UNC. Who knows? I mean,
Cowboy Ty with the hot take today. I love it. Quinn Ewers to UNC. Book it. Clip it. You heard it here first.
Hey, the pro-style quarterback playing with a old pro coach. Like, the math checks out. I mean, it's definitely a thing that could end up happening.
Ooh, why do we do a bowl mania on here? What do you mean, Clint? Bowl mania. Elaborate. We're gonna do a show next week. If you're talking about the playoff stuff.
No. Bowl mania is where everyone picks like every bowl game. You pick all the bowl games and you decide on how points factor of what, like, do you think you're confident 32%, like how many bowls there are. So like you would do a confidence factor, and the confidence factor is a 32. And if you get that game right, you get 32 points. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it is a cool little thing what he's talking about.
Oh shit, I didn't know. I've never done that. That does sound fun. That makes the bowl games way more electric.
It makes you want to watch a little bit.
Yeah, hell yeah. Do we have time? I mean, they've already started, right?
No, the bowl games haven't started because
they start this week.
Army Navy. You can do it right on ESPN. I'm saying
they start this week. Yeah, they start Tuesday.
Yeah, and you can do it on ESPN. You could just create a group and invite everybody. Like, you could give everybody the group and just have everybody do it.
All right, let me get to work on that, Clint. I'll put it in the Discord. If I create it, I'll get with you after. Let's do that. I mean, if it just creates it, we'll just do it for fun, right? We'll just do it for bragging rights this year. I like that. I love talking shit. So it doesn't have to be that big. It can just be the 59 people in here right now. You guys will be. I know it doesn't start today. I thought it started like tomorrow or like Monday, and I was like, I'm not going to be in time. But I can crank that up. It's just all I got to do is click in, and all the rules are done. So just so people are watching, they want to play. So I'm assuming that there's the confidence factor. Like, I would lose those points then if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, you don't lose them. You just don't get any points. So, like, if you were to get the bowl game wrong and your confidence factor was a 2, you just wouldn't get the 2 points. Like, if it's a game you don't really feel comfortable about.
But why wouldn't I just put 100% confident on every game?
Well, you can't. You can only, you rank them. So, like, if you have 35 bowls, you go 35, 34.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought it was. Okay. All right. So that's cool. All right. I like that. Who do you got tonight? Who's your Heisman guy? Who's your winner?
Oh, I mean, Travis Hunter wins this. I wanted it to be closer than it was, but like, I mean,
you think it's that much of a shoo-in?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've seen his odds lately, but it's like minus 4,000 to win. Like, it's not even close.
Oh wow, I haven't checked the odds. No, what I hate is I already see the chat, like Money's talking smack and people are talking smack too, of like it's either Genty or Prime, and it's like, oh, it's a popularity contest, and like it's literally a lose-lose for both guys here, because if Ashing wins it, he's gonna get hate from the Travis Hunter fan group, and if Hunter wins it, it's just gonna be because he played. Like, we got to stop, first of all. Second of all, I mean, what we witnessed was too incredible. Why Cam Ward and Dylan Gabriel even went is beyond me. It should have just been those two guys. Like, if I'm those guys, that's true. But I think it's Hunter. I mean, the kid wins the best wide receiver, best defensive player in the country. It comes down to a personal thing. I understand what Ashton Genty did was absolutely incredible. But so is what Hunter did all season long. I don't know. He was so fun to watch. It's hard for me to overlook that.
You know, honestly, we're getting to the point where everyone says they want the best player in the country to win it. I mean, this is the best player in the country. And
yeah,
you know,
that's
always
good point.
You know, he's not on the best team. He's not in the CFP, but he is the best player in the country. He is the most valuable guy because he's doing things that no one has ever done in college football history. He's playing almost every down on both sides of the ball. We've never seen that anywhere. And the amount of time and effort he puts into his taking care of his body and, you know, being endurance wise and the things like that. That's the stuff you don't see behind closed doors, but it's amazing because nobody has done that ever. What we've seen from Gianti is we've seen Barry Sanders do this before, long, long time ago. We've seen things like this. I'm not taking anything away from him. I think he's a phenomenal football player, and he should have a great career in the NFL because he's big, he's strong, he's fast, and he's had a hell of a season. But Travis Hunter playing both sides of the ball on offense and defense and having just huge years on both sides is enough for me. And he is the most outstanding football player in college football. That's what people want. So he deserves to win it, and he's going to win it. This second year in a row, we've seen that maybe not great teams. The guy's going to win the Heisman. Like Jaden Daniels was on a 9-4 LSU team, I believe, or 9-3 or something like
yeah.
that. Yeah, 9-3. But they weren't in any. They weren't in the college football playoff or anything. So the most outstanding football player has been winning the Heisman, and that's what everybody wants.
I don't think what everybody wants. I mean, there's people that are indifferent about it, but I agree. I think you nailed it on the head of like, look, it's the best player. I mean, this guy affects the entire game because he plays on both sides of the ball, and that's something that's not unheard of, but definitely I would say unheard of in college football. And it's to this level, like the fact that he's not only is he playing both sides, but he wins the best for those both positions that he's playing. Now, this is where I was kind of a little like, okay, this is gonna be interesting to see how this shakes up because Ashton wins the Maxwell Award, right? Which the last 8 of the 10 Heisman have won the Maxwell Award. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's kind of, and I said it last night, it's kind of like the Emmy, right? Like who wins this Emmy for that? That's kind of what tells you who wins the Oscar. It's not always the same thing, but.
Well, this year I think it's a little different because the reason is he is the most outstanding player on offense, but the other guys probably a top 5 in that Maxwell, and he's a top 5 on the other side of the ball too. So
Yeah.
that is something that's a little different. So this is once again, they pretty much have him locked into this spot. I think it's rightfully so. I know you think it's a popularity and it's because of Coach Prime. It is not. This guy deserves it. And when he goes to the NFL, like you literally are getting a player who, if you had injuries at corner, you can stick him at corner. If you have injuries at wide receiver, you can put him at wide receiver. That's something that no one has ever been able to do. I mean, we've seen two sport athletes, but we've never seen a 2-position athlete that can play at that high a level. That's what's impressive.
Yeah, I saw I think it was Crowder, I think. Somebody was talking to him like, hey, are you going to play both sides in the NFL? He goes, absolutely. And it's like, look, and I love the way he approached it. He's like, there's a different animal when you got to go guard Jamar Chase and JJ and Tyreek Hill and then go and be the guy on offense. I was like, yeah, that is true. That is true. Like it's not that you're just guarding these college cats no more. Like, you're guarding the best of the best, going balls to the wall for however many snaps and then have to flip to the other side. Like, sure, can you do it? But for like you have been for a whole game and be effective, I'm excited to see that. I love they said, yeah, absolutely. I think that's how you have to be. Like, it's just like a UFC fighter. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna whoop their ass. What are you talking about? You have to be. So, but when he kind of laid it out like that, I was like, yeah, there's not too many Tyreek Hills running around in college football. So, and you're gonna match up to one probably every week, damn near close to it in the NFL. So, yeah, that's and be guarded by one, and then be guarded by the opposing. Be guarded by a CJ Gardner, right? Or whatever. I can't think of any good quarterbacks right now at the top of my head. But like say like the flip side of that. So very true.
It's great, and like I remember back in the day, and I remember when people like the Jacksonville Jaguars were so bad, and they were like 20-point underdogs to Broncos one time or whatever, and there was a stupid thing that came up and said, "Could Alabama beat Jacksonville?"
Yeah.
Jacksonville would mop the fucking floor. They would mop the floor with any college football. These guys are the best of the best, man. Like I mean, they are. You can't put into perspective how a different game it is, and it's like these guys think that college football is so easy. We used to watch Caleb Williams run around, make plays all the time. He gets in the NFL. These guys are just as good and as fast as he is. Like that's the difference. These guys are good. They're fast. They're coached properly. They're all athletes. So can Travis Hunter at his low frame be able to guard a guy as big as Jamar Chase? Like, I don't know. Like, it's going to be – I know he's going to give – the thing about Travis Hunter is he gives you 100% every single time, and he plays with a ton of confidence, and that's what you need. Like, you got to believe in yourself. You have to have confidence. And that dude thinks he's the best, and you need to. You have to be successful in this league.
So we do have a bowl game today, actually. The Celebration Bowl. JSU and South Carolina State. So if we miss today, we miss it, right? We gotta go. We gotta get it going.
No, I think. Hold up. Let me. You can do so. There's 3 different ways you can do this. You can do a standard where you just pick the games and you don't worry about the spread. You can do it by the spread, and you can do it by confidence factor. So there's 3 different ways to do it.
Well, besides that, that's fine. But I'm talking about if we miss this game, we can't
let me
do
see
it.
if that game's. Let me go look if that game's in there.
Okay.
It is in there. If you don't get the first one, you just skip that one and you just do the rest of them. If you go to ESPN.com.
Yeah, I'm here right now.
Okay.
Actually, all right. 2 ball games. let's do it right now. Let's set it up while we're here. We're not. I mean, these cats don't care.
Yeah, that's cool. It's perfect.
And then I'll drop a link on my Twitter. I'll drop it on the YouTube if you guys are watching, and I'll put it in the Discord, and everyone just join. We'll just do it for free, and just have fun with it and talk shit. Like it's no harm, no foul. But if I beat somebody, I'll definitely make sure I let them know. All right. So. All right, standard seems probably the easiest. It's just every correct pick is worth 10 points. I feel like that's probably the best. Just given the fact that we're just kind of slinging this on there. I like your confidence one because I like that. That's a big level of thinking.
It is. I don't think you could I don't think we should do that one right now since it is one day ahead. Like we're close to getting it started right away. But like in the future, if we ever do it again, like we definitely should.
Well, I've talked to Clint. I don't think Clint can comprehend that. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm concerned about. So I'm gonna make sure we do this. Let's do the standard. So I'll do standard.
To be fair, Clint, I don't think I can comprehend it either. Because once I start losing my numbers, I don't know where the hell I am.
That is true. I listen. I think it'd get tough. How do I? All right, so I'm in here, but how do I create a group? Okay, here's my entry.
If you go to groups, let's go to groups.
Okay,
we're gonna do this together, buddy. And then create a group. Yep. Then you can just drop whatever your group is and give the you'd have to give them the password. That's the only.
Yeah.
Actually, you just drop the password on it. That's all. And everyone that's viewing, I want everyone in it. Let's go.
What did you say?
Don't let me. I said there's 72 people in here. I said we want them all in there. I want to see all 72 people in this group.
All right. So should I just make it public?
I would just make it well, I mean, you're going to get extra people from behind. Like, you're going to get extra people from the outside. So I don't know if you want to or not yet.
I mean,
just let everybody know what the group's called, and then they can search it and get right in.
Yeah, so the group is called High Top Sports with an S. And there's no password. So.
Is it High Top?
Here, I'm going to put the link in the description right now.
Oh, I'm over here. Search groups. Yeah, okay.
All right.
You already created?
Yep. And let's do that. I gotta hurry it up. I gotta clock in, but I gotta work.
Yeah, work's overrated. This is work. This is fun.
All right, here we go. All right, I'm in. Let me share my screen. You can I don't care if you guys watch my picks.
This is.
I don't know if I can pick. Hopefully, it'll be pick on here. Yeah, I didn't think it would.
What are you trying to do?
The widget won't load. Hold on.
Gotcha.
Look at my freaking. There we go. Okay. Let me bring me over here.
Make me small as shit.
I'm making me small too.
That's all right.
All right, there you go. So you can watch me pick these games. Okay. All right. So everyone's got Jackson State. I think Jackson State's gonna cook here. So I'm taking Jackson State as well. South Alabama, they had some games where they just absolutely steamrolled some people. I remember those games. I mean, these are teams I don't know too much damn much about, but I like them here. West Virginia. Oh wow, Memphis is 10-2. Damn, baby.
They got Windsor. They got Windsor of Florida State. I can tell you.
I mean, everybody does. Everybody does. I hate when they do like a 10-2 versus 6-6. Like, why is it so lopsided? I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's more. I think it's. Why is it not letting me? I just tried to join the game.
I like Western Kentucky over JMU here. I'm gonna pick an upset. Like Cal 6-6 versus UNLV. Like, what are we even doing here? But UNLV don't have their coach because they just hired Dan Mullen, right? We have an interim coach.
What's that?
The Sam Houston Bearcats, they won their division. They beat Liberty, right? Look, I got Georgia Southern though for an upset here. Give me the Bearcats.
Bearcats.
Ohio versus Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Jack State. They just lost their best linebacker in the
portal. They lost Rich Rod. They got no Rich Rod.
Who does it?
Rich Rod's back to WVU. Rich Rod was coaching Jack State, and I don't think he's coaching for this.
Okay, we'll go to Bobcats. Obviously, Gators all day. Here we go. Oh, wow, we were picking the playoffs. Let's go. All right, so Notre Dame, like I said. Man, I want to pick SMU
I like the
here.
Picks.
I want to pick SMU here.
I think I'm going to take Clemson in an upset here, too. Watch this. There we go. Let's get weird
with it. I can't. I have the competitor in me. Give me NIU. Give me Coastal Carolina or UTSA. This is a good one. Both 6-6. I'm sure the chat's just chewing me up right now. I can't even see the chat.
Oh, they're eating for lunch right now.
Let me see. Bruh. Oh, they're arguing about that. Hold on. JMU, Ohio. Will you put the link in here too? Yeah, I can put the link in here.
Yeah, well, we got people live.
It's in the description right now. It should be in the description already, Justin. I'm gonna put the Roadrunners here. Pick the Roadrunners.
I like the old UTSA Roadrunners. They've had some talent go through the old Roadrunners.
Give me USF over San Jose.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
You like Toledo over the upset?
Where are we at? Toledo against who? Who we got going on here?
Pittsburgh.
Ooh, that's a good. I don't hate it. Pitt's been limping. They don't look very good. But
give me the Toledo.
Give
me the big upset. Oklahoma and Navy. Give me Navy to just curb stop.
Yeah. Shout out to Navy. Let's go.
Vandy versus G Tech. You know where I'm going, baby. Give me the SEC matchup all day. I need that.
I don't know. I don't know if you remember, but Tech took Georgia, the SEC champions, all the way to 7-0.
Yeah. Give me the juice. I like Texas Tech over Arkansas. I love Syracuse over Washington. A&M. It's gonna destroy USC.
Going through all this, man, like all the Alabama fans that are complaining about not getting in, like, first of all, just beat Vanderbilt or Oklahoma, two mediocre teams, and you guys are in. I mean, you cannot complain that you did not get it. You could have had a quality loss and still got in with 3 losses. You didn't have a quality loss. That was the problem. Your loss was not a quality loss. There were 2 bad losses. Suck it up. It's happened to everyone. Beat the bad teams. You can have a quality loss with 3 losses, but you got to beat the bad teams. And you guys did not. And then they didn't have an argument, once again, when Tech took Georgia, the SEC champion, to the brink. So that's why SMU got in over you. So if anybody has any complaint, there you go.
I don't think Cornhuskers. I took Cornhuskers over Boston College. I'm taking Raging Cajuns over TCU. Iowa State over Miami. I'm taking Miami Redhawks.
Ooh,
no, Colorado State's good. I like Colorado State. They're good. Give me the Wolfpack over ECU. Give me Colorado over BYU.
How about the rematch, Michigan and Alabama? How about heck wild is that?
Oh yeah, Alabama all day. Give me the Hawkeyes over Mizzou. I think Mizzou is just complete dog wash. Give me South Carolina over Illinois. Give me Louisville. Washington played well here. Give me Washington over Louisville. Give me LSU. And then we got to go to how can I pick the college football playoffs? There's no team.
Yeah, so like you probably can log back in and pick them. You can probably lock them in there. I think before the game starts, you can switch. So like if Clemson or Texas beats Arizona, like something like that. Clemson's a little dark horse team that could make a run in this thing. If they can upset Texas, which is a big ask.
Yeah, because there's games that aren't even on here yet, so you're going to have to.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so you're going to have to re-log in and do it. Unless you're just complete dog water, like you said, then you don't even have a shot.
Yeah, picks autosave. Yeah, I don't think it can't lock it in if it's not there. That's true. Okay. So I've got my picks here.
The Mean Green.
F you show BYU by 20. All right, boys. I'll put the link everywhere else to join if you guys want to play. Hopefully this saves, but I've got to.
Yeah, it says auto save, so it picks auto save when you pick them. So.
Okay, I imagine as long as they're picked before they happen, that's all that matters.
Yeah, as long as you pick them before they happen, you are completely fine. I love this. I think this is going to be fun and keep everybody interested.
No, good job. Good shit. Good job, Clint.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, boys. Y'all be good. Happy Saturday. Smash the like button, subscribe. It was brought to you by BetUS. We'll see you on the next one, boys. Peace and love.